wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a castle, how will you wear your leisure? You zipper back and front on the fence together. Weekends in leather, flip to the right. Buy this car to drive to work. Drive to work to pay for this car. Buy this car to drive to work. Drive to work.
Welcome to Yellow Brick Road. I'm Jordan. This is James. And today we're going to talk about Steven Crowder being a toady for the Republican Party. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The link is in the description box, and the website's at the very beginning to this video, the intro, and the intros of our past videos. So please consider donating. Any amount will help. $100? $100,000? A Bezos billion? Any amount helps out. So please consider donating. Alright, so what we have here is the king of talking points, and also the king of having no arguments for much of his point of views. And also the king of running from Sam Cedar. We have Steven Crowder, and he's going to tell us the top 4 reasons why leftists are going to, just give away the election in 2020 to Trump. And he's basing all this off of the State of the Union address, I think. So, let's hear what he has to say.
So the segment I want to get into before, now when people say, are you going to talk about the Green Deal, the Green New Deal? I didn't have time to read through all of it before this show. It does seem pretty insane. And it does lead me to the point that I do want to discuss tonight, why I believe that President Trump is going to be reelected. And the main reason for this is that Democrats keep giving him gifts. Right? So they wonder, how he won in the first place. You hear that a lot. Yeah. How did Donald Trump, how could he have possibly won? And how could he possibly win again? I'll tell you exactly how.
He won't tell you exactly how. I don't think he has a fucking clue. What he's going to do is wrap all Democrats into this tiny box and say, this is why they're going to lose. This is why they have no chance, because of these typical, I read them in my binder, Democratic talking points. And I'll counter with my own, in my binder, Republican talking points. This is the best he can do, by the way. This isn't like, he's having a bad night. He's just cracking jokes, just being funny. No, this is the best he can actually do, from what I've heard.
Left continues to give this man gifts. He really is. There's like a Chauncey Gardner effect. He's not necessarily doing everything right. They're just doing everything wrong. And he looks brilliant by comparison. So I do think that the State of the Union, which occurred this week, showcased exactly what I'm talking about, just how far left the DNC has gone. And by the way, this is something that's important to note. 76% of Americans approved of the speech. What's really bad for Democrats...
Who gave a shit?
That does not mean much to me in the 2020 election, but okay.
76% of people who actually decide to be a part of a poll. Yeah, I agree with it. Yeah, imagine it's like a couple 100,000 are like, yeah, we liked it. Out of I don't know, I'm just saying. It's like, how many?
Also, is there, breaking it down into categories? I like this part, I didn't like this part, whatever. The point is, we're talking about the 2020 election, so let's see where he takes us.
Democrats is that 81% of independents approved of the speech. I think.
So yeah, he's talking about speechwriter or the speech watchers. He's not talking about just in general. Yeah.
I think we have overlays from this from YouGov. And the more that the left continues to push their agenda toward the left, the Democrats, I should say, pushing their agenda toward the left, the more likely it seems that these independent voters who everyone said Trump just has this ceiling.
Right.
He has this ceiling and it's his base. Well, the truth is his base, actually, those are the people who had the biggest problems with President Trump. We'll get into those in a second. It seems like the independents, actually the people in the middle, are really starting to thaw on the guy.
Yeah.
And you get 81% of them to support the reality show guy.
Yeah.
Think about this for a second. How badly must you screw up that the guy who has literally trademarked, "You're fired," is beating the crap out of you?
Once again, those are numbers for the speech, not overall support. So it sounds like he's making a leap about the 2020 election based off of this one speech.
King of inflation crowd.
Yeah. It's like, wow.
It's like, I didn't really hear it. I agree with the speech. See? Being the shit out of everybody.
They wholeheartedly agree with Trump now. Because of this speech.
I didn't agree with the speech at all.
It is what it is.
It's like, even that, it's like...
Well, I have a thing where I can put on, typical political glasses. I don't think you do. So you don't really see why, like, okay, this was an okay speech. You're looking for extreme righteousness no matter what.
Yes.
And I can put on glasses and understand where other people are coming from. That's how I see it.
Whatever.
Let's go through kind of 4 examples. I think this is one that's really important recently. Late-term abortion. So here's a clip where President Trump called for legislation to end the late-term abortions, and he mentions Northam's discussion of killing babies after birth. This is an important clip for people to see. Here you go.
Yeah.
To defend the dignity of every person, I am asking Congress to pass legislation to prohibit the late-term abortion of children who can feel pain in the mother's womb.
There are people who refuse to stand at that. Yeah, think about this for a second. You're an independent, you're watching, you're going, let's at least agree to stop babies that could feel pain being ripped apart in the womb, okay? Right? And then they're like, no. You're going to sit on your hands for that? Yeah. Do you have any idea how the optics look? And here's something that's really important. I think maybe you guys aren't necessarily, because you weren't really like political junkies in the last election, and I know you'll vote in the next election, but
they don't know what they're doing.
Crowder, you were never a political junkie. Well, maybe you were, but you just read on the surface shit.
I don't think that counts. That means you're a groupie, basically.
Yeah, but let's hear him finish the point.
Trump, by the way, was pro-choice.
Yeah.
Up until he ran as a Republican effectively. And conservatives were really leery of him because of that, right?
Yeah, we didn't think he was conservative.
They didn't think he was conservative.
No.
And so Donald Trump found himself in a pickle in the primaries, particularly because he had to appeal to his base, the conservatives. He had to prove to them that he was pro-gun, that he was pro-life, while still appeasing moderates. And that's hard to do when they think that you can't win over either of them. Now, again, the Democrats have given him a gift in that he can now appeal to his pro-life base and even to moderates who just don't want to see babies being born alive killed. All he has to say is, hey.
Now, the thing with the pro-life or pro-choice argument, these seem to always line up on the same side of things. Pro-lifers are usually going to vote for Republicans, and pro-choice is going to vote for independent, third party, or Democrats. It's just been that way. So I don't see this as some turning point. Like, well, they're pro-choice? Wow. But if we're talking about independence, as far as like the late-term abortion thing that happened in New York and Virginia, I think, it's like those aren't those guys. That's not them. It's not Bernie Sanders. That's not Tulsi Gabbard. Right? Bernie Sanders is Vermont. Tulsi Gabbard's Hawaiian. So Kamala Harris is California. So I don't know where he's going with that as far as presidential candidates.
A 40-week-old baby being chopped in the head bad. And he wins everyone who's not Cortez. That's all that's required. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
All the Democrats had to do was say, hey, most Americans are relatively pro-choice because it's a term that we created to trick them, and some of them are stupid. So let's go with that. And instead they said 40-week abortions, right? 40 weeks? And Donald Trump was, I'm calling your bluff. So another example here where the left...
I don't even know if that... Whatever.
It's just odd to me. They all laugh in unison. It's like, hey, fucking like police interrogation, put you all in one set, like in separate rooms. Just, hey, what do you think on this? They probably don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
See, he's using the optics of the State of the Union address to make a determination on why leftists are going to lose in the next election. It's like, what?
Optics meaning his face? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he's sweating. They're going to lose.
They sat down for that.
They're worried.
maybe, like, you ever consider that people might be, like, against abortion, but they don't agree with how Donald Trump is going to go about it?
Yeah, I don't agree with it.
Like, you got to look at details. Those are the important things. But maybe Crowder's smarter than me on this topic, to where the population's just dumb. And
they are dumb,
and they're just playing a popularity contest.
Just look around you. All the evidence is just.
I'm not sure all people are like that.
I mean, all. I mean, majority.
I don't think a lot of voters are like that.
Oh man,
I'd say a lot, but not the ones that are going to swing the election. I think. I usually see New York and California voting Democrat no matter what. You usually see like Texas vote Republican no matter what. And then you have the tweeners who swing. Pause. And those guys, I think they actually look at fucking policy.
I would hope so.
Yeah, and I think the guys who are in like those automatic blue states or automatic red states, there are people that look into shit, but it's like...
How far?
They look all into it, but they're like, my state's going to vote this way anyways. That's why Rogan was like, had a throwaway vote. So I'll vote for Gary Johnson. Why? Well, he was on my show. Fuck it. Because he knows, oh, this state is going this way anyways.
What do you mean by all in?
They investigate the policies of each candidate, and then they make a choice. They're like, I looked at all the information, I looked at all the policies, and I'm voting Trump. It's like, I live in California. They're not going to pick Trump. My vote is basically means nothing now.
That's all they look at. Policies.
Yeah. It's a political race. What else is there?
You tell me.
How a person acts is policy laden, right? If they catch him in a smoky room on a hidden camera saying, you know, I really do like abortion, but then he gets on the stand and says, I'm against abortion. It's like, oh, that's a conflict of policy.
Alright. I just figured, hey man, there's pictures of you and like, you know, personal accounts of you like hanging around with these people. You know. Is that like business?
Yeah, they'd want to ask those questions, but probably wouldn't get a chance to.
Whatever.
Right, they have giant debate stadiums for that. They don't ask those type of questions.
Has lost all ground is pushing for open borders. So in the State of the Union, Trump mentioned ICE rescuing women and children.
So point one, as far as his top four things, point one is nonsense. Now his point two is immigration. Let's hear it.
From sex traffickers. Watch what... I mean, Ocasio Pinta Santa Maria Cortez refuses to clap for this. Here's the clip.
More than 1,500 sadistic traffickers have been put behind bars.
This is just like, everyone is clapping.
Yes. You should be.
Look, you got people on the right and the left. Wait, what?
Stone cold face.
How should I, I'll get out. That's insane. I'll get up for
Okay, so once again, someone could be considering that as agreeing with Trump's immigration policy. They could view as standing and clapping as, I agree with his policy, when they might not. Right? I'm sure if you asked Cortez, hey, do you agree with human trafficking? Is that a good thing? Don't you want to get rid of that? She'd be like, yeah, I want to get rid of that. Doesn't mean you have to support the entire person who's saying it.
Or get up every 10 minutes and clap.
If I were there, I wouldn't have clapped or stood up for any of that shit. For anything he said, period. Straight up.
For me personally, it would have been nothing. Nothing that was done or said.
Yeah.
It's like creepers everywhere.
Yeah. So it's like, well, you're talking about your triumphs. What did you do wrong here? Did anything go wrong? Did you arrest the wrong guy? Did you kill the wrong guy? Did this happen?
Yeah. Did. You killed someone.
for stopping sex slavery. I don't like him, but I'll go out like that's you just.
Once again, just to put it out there so people realize that this is his evaluation to make a, what's going to happen in 2020 in the election. This is what he's doing. He's looking for facial reactions and body movement, and he's using that to determine why Democrats are going to lose in the next election.
Handed him a gift, by the way. They were wearing white for women's rights.
He thinks you're dumb. He thinks you're not going to look into policy or consider anything. He thinks you're going to look at how people are moving, their faces, whether they clap or not. In one State of the Union address, he's going to use that to get you to vote Republican, basically.
Oh, Hodge twins.
You gotta clap if you're wearing white for women's rights.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who are you wearing? I'm wearing white for women's rights, except all the underage hookers against their will. I'll see you at the halftime show. And here's the thing, not even talking about the sex trafficking, okay? That's one that, again, if you have to play the game in politics. Everyone knows this a little bit. We don't like it, but when someone says, ending sex trafficking, even if you go, well, hold on a second, I know that Cortez, when she's talking about ending sex trafficking, is actually attached to the Green New Deal bill, and that's actually about 70% tax, so I don't like it, but she did say end sex trafficking. All right, I'm going to clap just because of the option.
So she did say that. So why do you need her to stand up and fucking clap for your guy now?
Stupid, man.
What the fuck?
Like, when you hear these buzzwords, you stand up and clap.
Yeah.
And there's a giant meter that says, like, clap, stand up, applaud.
Yeah, it already sounds annoying.
It is.
Because there's so many points where people are going to be like, yeah. Like, it's a written speech. There's probably written in, like, hold for applause within the speech. It's like, you got to stand up and sit down and clap and all this shit.
Both hands on the podium, step back, look to your left, then right. It says, like, parentheses, should be applause, clapping.
Yeah.
And people are going to stand down. Go back. That's what I saw. Like, this is so written out,
Yeah, it's a silly tradition. All right, let's continue.
Tradition.
Exactly, I'll talk about it later. They didn't clap at that. But if you go even further into the issue, a new CBS poll shows that 72% of Americans agreed with Trump specifically on immigration anyway. Here's them saying it.
Just in from our CBS News instant poll here following the president's State of the Union. 76% of speech watchers said they approved of what they heard.
You just say 72% of people agree with Trump's policy on immigration. And then he showed a clip of, I guess that was CBS, saying 76% of people agreed with the speech or liked the speech.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? What? Who let you upload this fucking video with that?
It's this weird thing when people constantly throw these numbers at people, and it's like, hey, if you don't really care enough, if you don't want to really look into this, and someone just starts saying 76% about this, 72% about this, they're not entirely the same thing. It's like, yeah,
he's tricking his audience into believing what he just said was a true statement without showing the numbers for it.
Yeah, that's what I was going. Like, are you, like, purposely trying to, like, mislead people?
Let's see if he comes back to it, because...
That's all he does, though. It's, like, my opinion, he purposely tries to mislead people.
This one's egregious, though. That was just blatantly, like, what?
Very surprised.
That's a large percentage there.
I'm very surprised that any of these percentages are true. That's why I had to play that clip, so you would believe that I'm not just saying it.
That clip didn't substantiate what you said. It didn't, at all. Maybe they messed up in editing and there's an actual clip of it. I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
Either way, that clip said nothing about what he just said about immigration.
I wouldn't doubt he did this on purpose.
All right, let's continue.
He's looking at facial responses.
Just paint a picture for you.
Wait, when?
Just a moment here, okay? I'm trying to actually wrap my head around this. They fact checked.
It's really hard to do.
It's like when they fact checked Donald Trump, where he said we had burgers stacked a mile high at the White House. They're like, actually, he did not have burgers stacked a mile high. As a matter of fact, they were placed in more of a horizontal spread, really. One couldn't account for the vertical metrics because of the buttons and.
Yeah, those are the only ones you can keep up with. You know, mainstream,
silly shit.
Mainstream, rich, corporate neoliberals. Good job, Crowder. You're going to win those independent votes with this one. Fuck.
Depending on the temperature of the room, it's like, you're a
Exactly.
But think about this for a second, okay? The guy who said you could do whatever you want, you could grab by the and disgusted a whole nation, now has the moral high ground because you've decided to vilify him because he's against sex trafficking and he had the number off by 2%.
Yes.
Let's see, and he's talking to corporate, neoliberal, rich, TV faces.
Mm-hmm.
That's his wheelhouse.
You've given him a gift!
Another one.
And you couldn't possibly make it easier for him. Now everyone forgets about the grab by the and you go, actually, that 33% of people who are raped when they try to get here against their will, it's 31%. You better get in line, President Trump. And all he needs to say is, you're a piece of shit. And they're like, you know what, I kind of am. Yeah, let me just walk out this door here. I should almost be prioritizing the women who are being raped. Here's the second example before we get to the prime example. The left, of course, is pushing socialism. This is another reason I think President Trump is going to.
God, man.
All right, so point number 3, right? We've had number 1 was abortion, number 2 immigration. Both poorly explained, gave no evidence of anything. Used facial expressions and body language as an explanation. It's like, okay. And now we're on to point number 3, which is socialism.
It's like this. There's like, are you genuine with anything you say? With anything, literally anything he says, it's like my intuition's like you're lying to me.
Well, let's hear Stephen come up with an argument.
These massive leaps. It's just
He's going socialism. Let's hear it.
To win, they're outright pushing it. Remember when it used to be veiled?
Yeah.
Where they used to, like, when people said, we think that Barack Obama is kind of a socialist.
Right, yeah.
Socialism is actually, it's a dog whistle. It's the N-word is what it means. Yes. Remember when they said that? It's like, no! No, we think he's a socialist. Like, by the way, there are people like in Norway who are socialists too. They're not black at all.
Does anyone think Barack Obama's a socialist?
He seemed like a really corporate fucker to me.
Would a staunch socialist do Wall Street speeches for hundreds of thousands of dollars?
After
his presidency? Well, if he's a socialist, then he's a socialist.
On paper.
Huh?
On paper.
There's nothing on paper for that either.
All right, good then.
Plus, the Wall Street speech would be considered on paper, so it had nothing.
I thought about his presidency.
Well, did he? Talking about him.
Yeah.
Barack Obama is a socialist.
Well,
That's the words that came out of his mouth.
Well, I thought he meant like when he says that shit. I thought he meant during his years as president.
He wasn't a socialist there either.
No, he seemed corporate, based off the things I've seen.
Yeah.
Or read in the past. But those Wall Street speeches, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, Obamacare was not socialism, nowhere near it. Maybe he'll go the Jesse Lee Peterson route. Say Obama phones.
Obama phone.
That was socialism.
Obama phone?
Amazing.
No, amazing.
You're like really white and
Actually,
really strong for some reason. We have no idea as to why yet. We're still running some genetic testing, but we actually think that Barack Obama is like a Norwegian socialist. That's it.
No.
What policies? Name them. Well, all right. Make a separate video, call it, where you're talking about how he's a socialist.
It's like
maybe he did.
It's like why Obama is actually a socialist.
Yeah, maybe he did do that, and it was just poorly made because I don't see anything that makes him a socialist at all. I see him as like neoliberal, corporate, Wall Street, or maybe he's a socialist because he redistributed all our wealth to the corporate banks during the crash.
Oh,
maybe that makes him a socialist.
I remember that. I remember those days.
What was it? $700 billion to corporate banks and all this shit like that.
You gonna bail them out? Of course you will.
That's socialism.
No, it's like
Giving corporations ungodly amounts of money.
Giving meals.
Okay, I'll agree with that.
Look, we have evidence to support the theory that the U.S. government, Barack Obama, during that time, is giving out weapons and funding other terrorist groups. It's socialism. See?
It's evil, see?
Like,
he's redistributing
dude, this
bullets.
guy is so fucking disingenuous.
He's a clown, man.
That's why I'm calling him like a liar. Look at him. It's like
he's the court jester.
You have nobody there to challenge you.
No.
And then people you'll fucking go out and look for challenges are people that you fucking, I bet you have an idea. Oh, this person won't be able to take me down. And the ones that do, you don't include them in your video highlights and you just kind of brush it under the rug.
Yeah.
Can't trust you. Can't trust you.
You're hoping your audience that doesn't really look into shit very deeply.
Yeah.
You hope that they won't look through an hour-long video. But you can just watch the highlights.
It'll catch up with him in time. Just like what it's like with Stefan.
Yeah. Sam Zeder already caught up to him. He's ignored it. Keep trying, Sam. That's all I'll say to that.
Trump just said that we're never going to be a socialist country. And look at who refuses to applaud. Here you go.
Socialism in our country.
Yeah, boo.
America was founded on liberty and independence, and not government coercion, domination, and control. We are born free.
Hey, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Sounds good. Freedom. Sounds good. Here it comes. Wait. Son of a bitch! Oh, holy shit! They have a close-up!
So, there you go. Facial expressions.
Holy fuck, man.
That's why Democrats are going to lose, because Bernie Sanders didn't clap when Trump brought up socialism. That's why.
I just want a nice pillow to rest my head, because the amount of bullshit that's coming at me is just insane. Like, can you just imagine, like, one of the Hodge twins? What point you trying to make? yeah, man. What point you trying to make?
Yeah. Plus, I don't know the exact term.
Like, what? I could do that too.
It's like a social Democrat or Democratic socialist or whatever. That's where I think the category Bernie Sanders falls in.
What he's doing is
he wants to mix. He wants to add some socialist principles within what we already have.
Here's the shit, right? If people could actually believe it could be done, you know, hey, buddy, we could have a living wage. It could be done. Everything else will be taken care of. Oh, you convinced me. Okay, I'm down for that. But it's socialist. No, fuck socialism. It's like you can. I like how capitalism is. You know, as far as implementing ideas from that. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think everyone's going to come to agreement where it's like a mesh of a bunch of shit from both sides.
Yeah,
so it's like
take the best ideas.
This guy's a piece of shit, man.
He's a shill.
I could do what he's doing right now. Hold on. I start a separate channel. I guarantee you, within time, I'm going to have similar numbers like him. You telling me it's not hard to? Let's see. The rally. He made a face. Let me zoom in on his face and fucking scream and fucking not be funny and get a group of people who I'm probably paying or supporting in some type of way to go. Yeah, yourself. I know, right? Oh no! I'm losing.
Yeah, this guy has no argument.
Fuck, man.
He has none of this seems to have any fucking impact on the 2020 election, except for himself. You know, the voters he has as viewers, that's the impact he's having right now. But as an argument, he has nothing.
I know his
it's
fans.
shit.
It's like, look where his fans came from.
He's using a State of the Union address to make this large assumption of something that's going to happen, you know, down the line. It's like, what?
Yo, this dude's broad jump is like 100 feet. Fuck, dude. It's insane. But then again, you know, I get where his fan base comes from.
Yeah, they won't look into these ideas.
No. But when they do...
Socialism bad, right? I have all these resources. No. Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder.
The rich loud man says socialism bad.
And he made fun of the college kids that I don't like.
Crowder destroys college kids.
Except for Yusuf.
Oh, and
Yusuf murked this guy, and to change my mind, socialism is evil. He murked him.
Don't forget the Latino Superman.
Yeah, he's a teacher, not a student.
He's a person who murked him.
Yeah, he murked him on his own show.
And he used his chin to do it, too.
So we have 2 documented cases of you getting murked.
Probably more
on
out
arguments.
There. Probably more out there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more out there.
I wouldn't be surprised if you hid them.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like I swept, fuck. I mopped the floor with them. It's like, what about him and him?
Yeah.
You know? It's like fucking weird.
So that's actually 2 of his issues on here, right? Immigration and socialism.
Yeah.
Yusuf murked him on socialism, and Latino Superman murked him on immigration.
Well, and that also goes into other things as well. It's like, we need to build a wall. I think we need to get to the root of the problem. Yeah. How's this happening?
And I don't think his fans are...
Walls work, Jordan. They work. It's like, what? When? Where? When did they work?
I think his fans are so...
they all get fucked up eventually.
Indoctrinated or conditioned to not hear the actual argument. But whatever.
Well, listen, let's continue. It's literally like you're a Yankees fan, and no matter what, you have to believe, it's 7-4, 9th inning. It's like, Craig Kimball's pitching. Well, they're still going to win. Literally that thing,
Yeah.
Like, except, this is ideas, not fucking sports team with, like, mystique. No, this dude's a fucking pusher.
This guy's hurting Trump's chances. If people outside of his core fan base start watching this, he's hurting Trump's chances.
You're making them sing, this is just stupid.
Yeah.
Like, is that a gun?
It's whatever. Let's continue.
I should have anticipated this and not planned poorly my afternoon nap. Cortez, where were you? You were my number 2.
This isn't even funny, to be honest with you, but...
I'll be honest, I haven't laughed once at any of this shit.
Yeah, neither have I.
That's one of the best zoom-in close-ups in the history of presidential speeches.
He looks like Grumpy Cat had sex with a crazier, older Grumpy Cat. Let's think about it. The stars of the Democratic Party: Bernie Sanders and Ocasio, Nina Pinta Santa Maria Cortez. These are the stars.
Yeah.
They're actual socialists.
Why?
She actually...
What the fuck? What's with that?
Why did it's name-calling because he doesn't have an argument. It helps. It makes him look like he's winning the argument.
Gotcha.
It's just like when Yusuf was destroying him in an argument, and you see Steven Crowder start inching in and start doing mocking movements. Why you call me autistic? Huh? You call me autistic? We were being nice here, and then you call me autistic.
Yeah.
And it's like, define autism. Like, you could tell. It's like, dude, you're losing this argument. You gotta do little fucking bullshit to...
Oh, and pandering to the crowd as well. Fuck, I really want to hit you in the face. Now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, anyone does that, it's like, you're not in high school anymore, James. You can get arrested now. You can get arrested for this.
So it's like, this is one of his trades.
He thinks that she's going to pass some kind of 70% tax. I don't know. She explained it somehow.
The notion of socialism to that particular regime, what do you think about the president, why he did that?
Well, I think that he needs to do it because he feels himself losing on the issues. Every single policy proposal.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. Right? The State of the Union was partially like campaigning for him.
Yeah.
So he needs to make his ideas look like they're great and almighty and
probably
push these ones down.
Probably is. He's going to be campaigning for like about a year now.
Yeah.
You can already tell they're not going to listen to what these two or whatever Cortez is going to say because basically you already hear them laughing and saying shit under their breaths before she starts fucking talking.
Yeah.
So it's like you already know they're not going to listen to what she says.
Socialism is bad. And America will never be a socialist country. That's not an argument. There's no schematics there. There's no argument there.
Oh.
So that's why she's saying, well, he won't put detail into the policy with it because he'll lose on this issue.
Yeah.
If I bring up Medicare for all, he'll lose on this issue.
Yeah.
And that's a socialistic idea.
Yeah.
That's why it's just like socialism bad. Well, America will never be socialist.
The idea can be traced from a socialist standpoint.
Yeah.
Rather than, hey, everybody should have money. That way, if they don't want to do shit, as far as go work for a job or clean, like mop floors, they don't have to.
These guys...
Oh, you mean,
Yeah. I've sort of looked through the Green New Deal stuff. And it's like, guys, you're going to have to do this one by one if you want this thing. You can't just throw it all into one bill. It's going to have to be like the medical shit first, Medicare for all.
Its own thing.
Medicare for all is its own thing, yeah. And then, okay, let's work on new technologies, like instead of using, oil and gas and shit like that. Then it's like, shit, we have all this spare money. Then you can start moving towards universal income. But they'd have to all be separate. You can't throw it all into one thing. But I think she did it just to say, here's shit we want to happen. And we don't have, she said, I think her words.
Did you say earlier, like she gets it out there first so no one else fucking
it's like
taints it?
Like copywriting a name and shit like that, basically.
I gotcha.
It's like, we don't have the nuts and bolts of it put together. That's what she said. So it's like, all right. But let's hear them mock her more for saying things,
or just,
for saying things and not being on their team.
The other thing is this, like, just literally like mock her for saying something she probably didn't even say, or like misconstruing something. It's like, if I say blue, purple, see, it's like, huh? What? Like, you gotta fabricate shit to make fun of it, man.
Let's hear them mock her for no reason.
We have adopted and presented to the American public has been overwhelmingly popular. Even some with a majority of Republican voters supporting what we're talking about. When we talk about a 70% marginal tax rate on incomes over $10 million, 60% of Americans approve it.
No. What? Just
what? Show me the statistic for that.
70% what? Tax?
A marginal tax of 70% for Americans that make more than $10 million. Or once you go past $10 million,
right?
Then you start getting taxed 70%. I believe that's how it works. I'm not an expert.
Man, they can't live without that 70%.
The point is, they're like, what? Who said that? It's like from the guy who just used a poll that said 70% or whatever people of independence liked the speech. She's like, 70% of Americans, they love Donald Trump. It's like, what? Or no, 70% of independents, they like the immigration policy for Trump. It's like, no, you didn't even show that. You showed them just liking what he said in his speech.
You showed two different
polls. It doesn't mean they like his policy.
You showed two different polls and tried to say, see? Like, huh? No.
So we should be expecting a counter to that, as in a poll that shows that's not the case. It's not the case that 60% of Republicans, whatever, with a...
Feel bad for these two. You guys have no fucking clue what's going on.
No.
You're just here for clout.
Yeah, they're here like it's a nighttime, late night show.
Yeah, but now it's... Now, hey guys, you're going to be forever connected with this shit, so good luck. Good luck. And you laughed too. You laughed and nodded your head. Fuck you too.
Here we go.
A majority of Republicans support socialism.
That wasn't her claim. She didn't say 70% or whatever, 60% of Republicans support socialism. It's like, fuck. Right?
Dude, someone needs to take this dude down.
What are the numbers I've heard before?
It's insane. This guy...
Over 60% of Americans want Medicare for all.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's just odd to me how this dude gets away with this shit.
It's like, does that mean they want socialism? Like, there's a whole scheme of thing, right? There's socialism as in the entire system is now socialist.
Yeah.
And then there's individual policies that are socialistic.
Yeah.
Like Medicare for all.
Yeah.
But he, of course, 60% of Republicans want socialism? No. Okay, there's a difference between the blanket term socialism and this individual fucking policy. But, of course, they don't bring up a counter to that.
I mean, there comes a video called Stupid Ocasio-Cortez, or how's he do it? Cortez?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck. To me, it's like, you're really being like this is bullshit. He knows. There's no fucking...
Let's see if he has an explanation or something to back up what he's saying.
What? I thought this was well known. Hey, you person next to me, is this well? It's not well known. I don't know what I'm saying, Chris Matthews.
She probably went to Watts or something.
Okay,
You're right.
Maybe it's not well known. Okay. So what? if it's a real statistic and it holds up, then it doesn't matter if it's well known or not. It matters that 60% of Republicans support this particular policy. But let's not do that.
Let's be honest here.
Oh my gosh.
Do we have to act like that sounds like an intelligent woman?
No.
Do we have to pretend?
Fuck, man.
Mocking her intelligence when I think he's one of the fucking dumbest people. Well, I don't think he's dumb. I think he's very clever at being a shill for whatever he shills for.
I think he's clever.
For Republican talking points.
I think he's clever for the fact that he got to this point, but I don't think he's clever at being a shill, you know?
I think he's
I
heavily...
think there's people that are way more clever at being a shill.
Yeah. Good point.
Like, hey, dude, good job getting 1 million followers and all this other shit and all the money and stuff. Good. Doesn't mean you're smart, but he's...
But here's the guy who can actually change minds.
Yeah. Versus a guy that could actually do this shit in public and get away with it.
Yeah.
Like, are you sure you're ready for me? Like someone like a Stefan Molyneux, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Molyneux.
He's tricky. He's tricky.
Or Shapiro. They can actually argue with adults. Just being honest. I didn't say great.
Yeah.
But
you're capable.
They can talk to adults.
This dude, don't do it, man.
Yeah, don't.
Stay home.
Stay away from Sam Cedar, please. Don't do it.
Just keep your balls in your mouth.
I'm not even a fan of Sam Cedar. I don't like Sam Cedar.
I don't like him either. Because he does the whole, what? You got to play the political game type of guy, right?
Yeah.
The shit is, though.
He murks these guys in arguments. He murked Molyneux in an argument.
Yeah, that's what I want to see, though.
And this guy's like...
Can you hold up against this guy?
He can't.
Okay.
Crowder can't hold up against Sam Cedar.
Probably not. Yeah. I put money on it. Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. Nancy Pelosi doesn't sound like an idiot. I think she's...
and here goes the shilling that we're talking about. He's going to prop up...
Nancy Pelosi.
He's going to prop up people that we know are corrupt asshats.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi is the first name he said. I believe he's going to bring up another well-known politician.
Wrong. I think she's the only person in politics who's proactively evil, but she doesn't sound like an idiot. Hillary Clinton doesn't sound like an idiot.
No.
Yes, Hillary Clinton.
Just slide it in there.
Are you going by sounds? What? Where were you in the Bush era? Did he sound intelligent? Did you make that comment? Like, he doesn't sound intelligent.
Dude.
Did you make that comment?
He was around.
I bet you didn't.
He was your age back then.
Was he on Fox News or something?
No, man, he was your age.
Oh, okay.
When he was a little bit older, around his 20s, early 20s, mid-20s, then you see him on Fox News talking about the occasional, abortion or, safe-sex marriage or whatever.
That's what we'll do after this. We'll look up if Crowder says anything about George Bush. Anything.
You're probably gonna find shit. You're probably gonna find shit mostly about George Sr.
I bet we find very little.
Yeah. And if you do, it's very quick.
Because he sounds so smart, right? And she didn't even sound dumb. That's the thing about it. She didn't sound dumb.
I didn't hear one thing that sounded like to me as like, oh, this woman's an idiot.
What you did was not address what she said. You made your fantasy of what she said. Then you're like, oh, that sounds stupid.
It's literally you being presented.
Republicans are for...
It's you being presented something and you just shapeshift into something like you can use to make fun and stomp on.
Republicans want socialism? That just sounds stupid. It's like, no, she's talking about a policy. A particular socialistic policy. Just like the 60+% of people who want Medicare for all. That's a socialistic policy.
Yeah.
Not socialism as in a blanket term that covers the entire economy and policy. But,
it's just odd. How
he's a show.
I'm disappointed in people because, this dude, I expect people to be more responsible. This dude shouldn't have 1 million followers. It's insane.
All right, let's continue.
This girl sounds like a moron. Think about socialism. No matter how great you think the government is at giving you free stuff, people still don't want higher taxes. We started with the prank calls this week where we called black businesses.
Yeah.
They were like, would it make you more or less likely to support Governor Northam than he supports increased taxes? I don't want to pay more taxes. No. I want, the opposite of that. I think
Was it? Fuck are you imitating?
Apparently none of the phone callers. Like when I listen to that thing, they don't sound like that. What are you doing? Oh, they black now. They black. It's like, fuck you, man. You're so fucking stupid.
You can say it. I can't.
Yeah. No, you can say it too.
Like that.
Like that.
I got in trouble because I actually I would talk like that. Like that.
Either way,
that's
that's a faulty argument because I believe the policy is over $10 million is taxed at 70%. Not you own a business, give me 70%. It's like, of course, those guys don't want higher taxes. They're not making as much as these other guys. No. They're not making as much as Bezos.
Oh fuck! I just made my first. I just like some sort of deal I just made that gave me $80 million. All right, that $10 million you just made. 70%. I can't live without it. It's like, fuck. By the way, I don't agree with it being in law as far as me having no choice over it. But
yeah,
realistically speaking, like, oh, can you fucking live without it? Like, if you have $50 million, I'm like, I want $10 million of that. I'm gonna die without it. Are you kidding me? It's like, what?
I just bought a.
Hey man, and just sitting back.
I just bought a town. How do you expect me to pay for
do
this
town? Do you
town?
think this would actually help people? I think if people sat down and thought about it.
I hired actors, okay? You see these munchkins here? Yeah. I hired them. Yeah. Who's going to pay for them?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Like, do you think this shit could help people? Sure. That's why I think at the end of the day, in a healthy society, people are going to go, it's going to be a choice, but they're all going to go, all right, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'll put some money over here.
It's like, if it's some, like, super tech CEO, like, I'm working, so I don't want to think about where I'm giving my money away to.
Yeah.
So you guys just take this percentage or whatever. And I trust you to give it out to the places that need it the most in a healthy society. Or it could be the guys like, I'm going to hold on to the money and I'm going to give it out myself because I have particular issues I'm really focused on.
Well, there you go.
Oh, children can do this. Children.
That's why I'm like, you remind me of those dudes on CNN, late night CNN, Fox, that just purposely lie. Just purposely. Like,
that's right.
If you own these documents, it's illegal. And then my brother's like, okay, just start downloading shit. Here's a flash drive, James. Keep it safe.
That's right. In the future,
like it's illegal.
In the future, expect some videos from us where we're just reacting to like Bush era.
Yeah.
All of them. It could be Fox News, CNN, whoever.
Bush era news.
We're just gonna react to it so that younger people who had no idea this existed.
Yeah.
Like they may know about 9/11, but they may not know about the lead up to the Iraq War and all that shit.
Like, guys, look, Tucker Carlson. Guys, I have Tucker Carlson. He has longer hair. Sean Hannity was younger, and they're all under Big Bill O'Reilly that you never heard of.
So we're gonna do reaction videos to that. You're gonna see the talking points when they're the most malignant, like the most malignant version of them, and you're gonna realize like these guys are saying the same things, just not as extreme.
Yeah.
What if things got to Bush era status? Would these guys start making extreme leaps, like Bill O'Reilly was?
Yeah, probably.
So it's gonna be an eye opener if you haven't seen these before.
To be fair though, that at that point in time though, they were given the leeway to do so. Today,
I think they would.
No, they're giving leeway, and I'd say they get away with it like he did. That dude got away with so much shit.
Yeah.
He literally had a thing called talking points. Like,
it'd be just different stylized, but it could be the same garbage. So.
I'm saying it's out in front of your face. It's very out in front of your face.
All right, let's continue.
Not subtle.
Greatest example, of course, of the gifts that the left they've been giving Donald Trump, and I hope.
All right, so we're on to point number 4. Let's hear what it is.
They do it again in 2020. They ran Hillary Clinton in a general election.
Okay, so point number 4 of why the left will lose is because Hillary ran in 2016. It's like, what? You better explain that one. I don't even know how that makes sense at all.
Yeah. Likely the one person Donald Trump was capable of beating at that time. Trump polled very badly for people who forgot this leading up to the election. Almost every single pollster got it wrong because he was polling so badly. And he's been receiving nothing but hostile media coverage since. Here's the thing. The choice in 2020 is very different from 2016. You were not a Trump guy. Nope. And I was not a Trump guy in the primaries.
No, we argued about it.
We argued about it because I remember saying, well, listen, if he does win, he's going to be the guy at that point. But he wasn't my guy. I liked Carly Fiorina. I liked Ted Cruz. Yeah. So the choice, though, in 2020 is very different from 2020.
That's telling, isn't it?
Ted Cruz, huh?
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
Oh, wow. That guy seems like he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Like he would do anything immoral or enact policies that would affect the lives of millions of people.
All right. Going off track here.
Nobody lives left.
Just remember to keep that in mind. Ted Cruz, keep that in mind.
Nobody's left behind.
2016, a lot of people thought that both Hillary and Trump were kind of taking us toward a cliff. I think Ben Shapiro summarized it as though the concerns of many, by the way, he said the fear was that if Trump got into office and he did a bad job, it'd be like we're heading toward the cliff, just as we'd be heading toward the cliff with Hillary Clinton. But with Donald Trump, there would be no break.
Right.
Because no Republican would be elected after Donald Trump if he did as bad of a job that many people anticipated, myself included, in the primaries. I remember saying,
because you're just as mind-controlled by the mainstream media as the people you're probably talking to.
Possibly.
That's why you probably thought, like, Trump is the immediate disaster, and blah, blah, blah. You probably didn't look into any of his fucking policies in order to say, no, that's not the case. I think Shapiro did. And he was saying, we leave Syria? That can't be good.
Yeah.
And you might know why he does that, but...
I do.
Huh?
What?
I was looking at the camera when I said that.
I never look at the camera. I look at the TV.
Ben's a neocon. He's an open neocon. This guy's, I don't think he knows what the fuck's going on, to be honest, but...
Oh, he's lower tier.
Yeah.
That's what he is. Just has a massive following.
But yeah, you can look at policies and see why people would take Trump over Hillary Clinton. Policies.
Yeah.
And why he was preaching the opposite of driving off the cliff. If you look at the policies of it.
Oh, fly zone. Yeah, we can see where that's going.
TPP, things like that. Let's continue.
I think we deserve to...
That should just exemplify, like, he looks at window dressing and thinks he understands politics. See how dumb that sounds? It's like, you didn't hear what she said, did you?
Can you imagine this man in front of millions?
They didn't stand and clap.
In front of millions on a podium of people who are actually critically listening to him. This dude is motherfucked. He will be laughed at that stadium, and there is no fucking way he can twist it.
Yeah. All right.
Lose if we run him in the primaries.
Yeah.
Of course, when he was against Hillary Clinton, I mean, listen, come on, you just have to take the free shots when you're given them. People thought Hillary Clinton, though, was ultimately a politician, right? That's what people didn't like her. They thought she's a politician. But as leftists go, relatively moderate. You know, that's the thing with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
This idea, she wasn't there was Bernie.
Hillary Clinton was say pretty moderate. I'd say she's like a centrist, like Obama.
A centrist.
If you're gonna look at a political, spectrum, I believe she was a centrist. She's corporate at that. They had to like make up a new term, just like neoliberal.
Odd, isn't it?
That's Obama. That's Clinton. That's who they are. They're money making.
Clinton's also whatever possible fucking way, statistically speaking, I can get them to love me. I'll do it.
Yeah.
Which is why I make the joke. If everybody was in on, okay, we're all gonna say we hate black people, even the black people, like, we hate ourselves.
Yeah.
And she says, I for one do hate black people. We got you, bitch. Got you. She's like, what? Starts sweating.
Can you imagine that prank?
She pulls up her wig, probably gets a smoke bomb, just never see her again.
Hey, to be fair, how many of us would fail that test? We need to honestly take a mirror out and look at it.
Yeah.
How many people would fail that? But
I have friends who do that to other friends. Yo, man, he's such a bitch. I knew he thought he was a bitch. I knew it. As he walks away. Like, fuck, man, that's scheming.
All right, let's continue.
Damn.
Sanders and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Trump, on the other hand, people also thought, a lot of people think because he says bad words that he's somehow extreme. He was actually seen as really pretty moderate and not that conservative. So a lot of conservatives weren't big fans of Trump. As a matter of fact,
I mean,
portraying to...
I don't know. In my mind, like when he said that statement, in my mind I'm thinking, I think it wasn't the traditional George Bush Republican conservatives that got Trump voted in. It was the guys who were like, Hillary, Trump, Hillary, Trump, Hillary, Trump. All right, Trump.
Not only that, it's like one's openly corrupt.
Not Hillary. Yeah.
Anything but... Yeah, I remember it's like it said anything or anyone but her. Like, there's massive, like, anybody that posted a video of her saying one thing 10 years ago and then something today or at least 2 years ago, like gay marriage or fucking sniper fire or whatever the fuck, those you got like massive amount of views like within a couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure. You know? It's like, is this person like openly corrupt, or is this person who's a big question mark?
Yeah. And a lot of people are like, I wonder what it'll do.
Yeah.
Vote.
Mind you, that's irresponsible as fuck, but
a lot of people said I'm not voting, period.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Oh, yeah. Like, was it 60%?
It was like 120 million people voted, I believe. It was like 60 million each, close to that.
Okay.
And you have 300 plus million Americans. You have to exclude kids and shit like that.
Okay.
So it's like, there's a lot of... I believe Jimmy Dore showed...
I don't want to say 60%, but there's a lot.
I believe Jimmy Dore showed a statistic that most people did not vote. More people didn't vote than voted. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that either.
I'm not voting.
So yeah, traditional conservatives weren't going to vote for Trump anyways, unless he won the nomination.
James Corbett, why you shouldn't vote? It doesn't matter.
All right.
I think you'll be surprised when you look at those voting blocks. Evangelicals voted for Trump because they had to, but not all of them. Probably, likely fewer in a lot of municipalities, but you saw a lot of union voters who would have typically gone Democrat. The Blue Dogs go for Donald Trump. So a lot of those people held their noses, though, the Christians, the true conservatives, and voted for Trump because Hillary Clinton was such an insufferable bitch. That's really why. But now in 2020, we're choosing between Donald Trump, who's been really pretty conservative, if you look at him as a president, outside of the trade issues.
And pretty good.
And all Democrats, who have swung so far to the left, their right nut hasn't seen them in a month.
Tulsi guys, like, don't say my name.
Yeah, if you're comparing...
Don't say my name.
If you're comparing these guys to Hillary Clinton, you're mistaken.
Yeah.
Most Democratic voters thought Bernie won the nomination in the first place, and he got cheated out of it.
There's evidence to support that theory. There's evidence to support that.
So, yeah, this is just the second time around to where I think Bernie would wreck Trump. Would wreck him in this regard. And Trump will have to move towards the left in order to withstand that. And you have Tulsi Gabbard, who would definitely wreck Trump.
I'd put money on if she ran against him, if she was the nominee, she would win. If Bernie ran against him, he was the nominee, he would win. If you look at the popular vote, right? Mm-hmm. Majority of voters were already not Trump. Mm-hmm. Or already voting against Trump in the first place. Mm-hmm. Now you add all these swing voters like, have someone with better policy, but they're also not a SJW or super corporate liberal. Mm-hmm. Right? They're not playing identity politics, and they're not corporate sinister asshats. Right.
So it's like, that's going to take a lot of votes away from Trump. Right. Then you know, the people that didn't vote, period, because
that was me.
because of the two candidates.
Yeah.
A lot of them were Bernie guys. They're like, I can't vote for her, and I can't vote for him. I'm not voting. Or they voted for Jill Stein. A lot of Jill Stein voters that couldn't vote for Trump or Clinton, they're going to go towards Bernie Sanders or Tulsi Gabbard. So I think Trump is fucked. Unless they can show their way to getting like Kamala Harris.
I think literally
maybe Elizabeth
the
Warren.
Only way they could fucking really do this if somehow some way they get some sort of child porn on Bernie Sanders' computer laptop and becomes public, and if Tulsi Gabbard ends up everyone finds her with Nazi flags. They find her with Nazi flags in college or something like that. She's like this.
A Samoan Nazi.
Yeah. First of its kind, we know it. We know it.
Nazi surfing.
She's a part of this new leadership. Hawaiian youth of Nazi.
I can see them drowning out Tulsi like they did with Ron Paul.
I don't know, man.
I can see all the blue check marks on Twitter.
Yeah.
Tulsi's bad. Or not even talk about her at all. Mm-hmm. Like, here's your guys. Here's Kristen Gillibrand. Here's Kamala Harris. And they can't ignore Bernie Sanders anymore.
If you scream loud enough, someone's gonna... That's what I mean, though. I honestly believe that if you do something loud enough...
If Tulsi and Bernie run together, Trump is done for.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
And that might be like a chain reaction. Like, Now you have to go up to these standards to become president.
If you see that, then you might see some sort of false flag thing to induce massive amounts of people for fear. My bad.
Yeah.
Inducing a mass amount of fear so that people can be swayed a certain way, just like not too long ago. 2001?
Possible in a conspiracy sense.
Well, it's not so far-fetched as some people may believe.
Fair enough.
This has happened before.
I don't know if they're finished or not, but
I'm done with it.
let's hear the last bit.
Yeah.
That hurts. It's not that literal. We know they want abortion up to 40 weeks, 70% tax rates, as you just saw, completely socialized.
Let's
Just misinterpreting, whatever.
70% tax rate. It's like, no, it's not a flat tax across all walks of life.
Yeah, it's your $10 million that you make.
If you make $100 a week, they're not taking $70 of it.
Yeah.
It's like it's above $10 million, so you fucked that one up. The abortion part, that's happened in 2 states, right? New York and Virginia, I believe. So it's I'm washing all Democrats with this exact policy because it happened, and they were Democrats, so that means that's what the entire party believes. It's like, nah. There's a difference between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Those are 2 different animals.
Yeah.
What else did you say?
Healthcare. They want to destroy our economy.
Healthcare.
They want to destroy our economy.
Majority of the country wants free healthcare across the board.
Yeah.
It might not, seem that way to you because you don't talk to us lower people.
No, I don't hear you. Like my video. Buy my mug.
It's like, whoa, middle class and lower people from Democrats and Republican parties, they both want free healthcare?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Sorry. Oh, I forgot. We're talking to a rich guy.
Yeah.
So what's that? Imagine $300 for X-ray? You bet. Just pulls it out of his neck.
On principle versus Donald Trump, who has done well by nearly all metrics available to us at this point, besides tweeting mean words, some of which are misspelled, let's be honest. But outside of that, he's done pretty well. The choice in 2020, when they say it's stark, they're, we think there's a stark contrast between the Democrats and Donald Trump.
I don't think he even understands first of all, if Trump is doing well, I don't think he understands why that is. I don't think he would understand why.
Or
the Syria thing was a big deal. When Trump bombed Syria, his base was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
When he decided to say he's going to pull out of Syria, his base was like, "Yeah, good job." So I don't think he even understands why.
No.
Probably because he agrees with staying in Syria. He won't bring that shit up.
Oh, dude, he's a piece of shit. So.
He is. But in a positive way for Trump, because these gifts that the Democrats keep giving him. So when Republicans say that we need to be more moderate, this is something people have to hey, listen, we need a more moderate Republican Party. We need to come to the middle. I go, hold on a second. Look how far the left is going. Don't stare a gift horse in the mouth. Okay.
Yeah, he's going to end up having to swing more moderate. Because Bernie Sanders' policies and Tulsi Gabbard's policies and actual candidates, their policies are a lot more left-leaning and popular. They're popular too. Don't run off of the newly elected, House, Senate, whatever, ocasio-cortez, and say that's the Democratic Party. She's everywhere. Her face is everywhere. She's doing all these interviews. She represents all of them. Don't be stupid or tricked by Steven fucking Crowder. I think he's shilling to prop up certain candidates that are bad candidates so that his guy can win again.
Yeah,
like a Ben Shapiro did. Ben Shapiro did a little bit more focused. A little more focused.
You know what's weird? It's like he's basically a lobbyist. He's basically doing,
Yeah, he's an information lobbyist. All right, that's it for us. Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. Comment. We like comments. Like to debate with each other. Whatever. Consider donating to Demonstrating to Recovery. The link is in the description box. The website's at the intro to this video and our past videos, so please consider donating. Any amount will help. And with that said, everyone on 3 to scream a nice, loud thumbs down. Yeah, that was it. You give this video a thumbs down. Yeah. Yeah.
Say you wanna get in.